So, good morning. Change of scenery today. Go ahead and come onto your mat. Take your dish towel if you're back with it. And you're just gonna lay on your back with your feet bent, or knees bent, feet planted on the mat. And then you can just leave your towel off to the side, or you can, sort of just fold it and leave it draped across your hips. Let your arms be by your side and let your head be nice and heavy on the floor. And then from here, identifying your ribs and your hips, just think about taking a nice deep breath in. Feel your ribs expand and then exhale. Feel your hips drop towards your ribs as you gently press into your feet, tuck that tailbone under, and then release your spine. Feel the distance between your ribs and hips increase. And then again, shorten that distance. Tuck the tailbone under, gently press the low back into the floor, and then release. 2 more, and then exhale. Feel that lower abdominals engage, and then release. You'd almost think like you have a belly button a marble at your pubic bone, and you're just gonna roll it up towards your belly button. And then you're just going to release back to neutral, and it'll slowly find its way back to the center of your lower abdominals. One more time. Tuck your tailbone under, finding that nice length through the low back. Hips are still on the floor. And then untuck your pelvis. Find yourself in a nice neutral here. Go ahead and find your towel and grab onto it. And then just bring your arms straight up in front of you. First things first, check in on your wrists. Make sure they're not bent. You want your knuckles or your fingertips, your choice, reaching straight up towards the ceiling so your wrists are nice and long. And then just reach your arms or fingertips up towards the ceiling. Feel your shoulder blades separate from your spine, maybe even lift off the mat, and then feel them draw in as your shoulders get nice and heavy on the floor. And then again, reach up. Your elbows stay straight. Your hands are a little bit wider than shoulder width, and reaching up. Of course, you can do this part too without the towel, but that little extra tug help you find a little bit of space across the front of your chest. 2 more. And last one. And lower back down. Find that nice neutral place for your shoulders, where they're nice and solid on the floor, but they're not like aggressively pressing down. They're just sort of floating there. And then slide your arms back overhead. Again, arms stay nice and straight, only going so far overhead that your back ribs stay connected, and then lift straight back up. And then again, reach overhead. And then draw your arms back up, pausing just where your hands are above your shoulders, and then again, reach up overhead. 3 more. And again, keep thinking about that rib and hip connection. It is not getting any wider or bigger while you're reaching your arms overhead. Last one like this. And then pause with your arms right above your shoulders. And then bring your right knee in towards your chest. Wrap the towel around your right knee. And just pull it in towards your chest and then slightly over towards your elbow, or shoulder rather. And then extend your left leg nice and long. Reach through that left heel. Getting a nice stretch through the left hip flexor. And then press your knee into the towel as you send it away from you. And then bring it back in, release all the way down. Try to increase that stretch just a little more. And then bring that leg back up. Lift your head if you need. Send that towel behind your right thigh now. You can bend your left foot again if that's more comfortable. And then you're just gonna let your upper arms be heavy on the floor. And you're just gonna press your legs straight, pressing your thigh into the towel, and then bend your knee. And then again, reach through the heel as you extend, pressing your thigh into the towel. and release. 4 more. Tailbone is nice and heavy. Distance between your ribs and hips hasn't changed. This class is going to be a little bit more low-key than normal, especially maybe you also slept terribly last night and are exhausted. 2 more. And last one. Good, and then leave that leg nice and heavy, and you're gonna press your thigh heavy, and then bring it around to the side, up towards your face, and internally rotate towards that other side, and then externally rotate as it comes over to the right shoulder, towards your face, and your towel is sort of helping you guide that leg around as you're doing a nice leg circle here, really focusing on the weight down of the femur in your hip socket. Last time in this direction. Again, use the towel to help pull you around, and then you're going to reverse. So out to the right, find that external rotation, press it down, away from you, internally rotate as you bring it up, and toward your face, over to the right. If that left arm has to lift a little to help guide you around, that's fine, or you can just put the towel both ends in one hand, that's fine as well. That left side is staying heavy on the floor though. 2. Last one. Good, and then take that towel out from behind your right knee. Bring it on the front of your left leg, so right below the knee near the shin. Bring that leg in toward your chest, and then out towards the side, and then extend that right leg nice and long. Really think about stretching them in opposition. Like you're gonna reach your right heel towards that wall on the other side of your head. And then press that knee into the towel, resist it, and then release and bring it all the way in and up and over to the left side. And then bend that right leg, send the towel behind your left thigh now. And you're gonna find that nice place where your leg is supported. And then you're just gonna think about lengthening through the back of that leg, pressing the thigh into the towel. The towel's helping to support you. Finding a nice stretch to the hamstrings. For 5. 4, making sure you're breathing, hips are heavy. Don't worry about how straight your leg gets. 2. And last one, lower that leg down, pull pull your knee in toward your face, let it open out to the left, and then circle down, internally rotate as it comes across to the right, back up, and out. I realize maybe I should have worn different color leggings. It might be a little hard to see my legs against the dark brown background. But really just focusing on that nice internal and external rotation in this circle as you send your leg around. 2 more. And then pause at the top, and then reverse. So in across to the right, down, externally rotate, back up. Again, really using your arms and the towel to help kind of manipulate your leg a little. And internally rotate. Check in on that right side. It should still be heavy, especially when that leg goes out to the left. Last one. And then pause here. Take that towel out from behind. And then go ahead and place both feet on the ground here. Reaching that towel up towards the ceiling. And then bringing your right leg up into tabletop. From here again, check in on those wrists. Pull your towel gently apart. Find that width across your low back. And then you're gonna bring your left leg up to meet your right. And then from here, you're just gonna let those arms come up overhead, similar to what we have done before. And resist to bring them back up, keeping those legs in tabletop. So your legs are pretty still. You can glue them all the way together, or you can be kind of hip distance apart, whatever feels good. Back back ribs are staying heavy on the floor. If this is too much or you need a break, just cross your ankles and drop your heels towards your butt, leaving your knees pointing up towards the ceiling. 3 more like this. 2. And last one, nice and smooth glide of the arms overhead. And then going and pausing with them up above your shoulders. You're going to extend your right leg here. Think about length through the back of the leg and then resist, bring it back in. Staying on that right side. And resist back in. Almost thinking that the back of your leg is the only thing that's moving really, like you're opening that up. So your foot is going a little higher and then you're resisting to bring it back down. 2 more. And last one. And switch to the left for 8. And again, gentle tug on that towel, check in with your wrists. For 5. 4, moving nice and smoothly. Head is heavy. 2. And last one. And then pause here, let your right leg fall out towards the side, and then resist to bring it back in. And let it fall out to the side, externally rotate, left hip stays heavy, and back in. 3 more. 2. Again, little tug on that towel. Last one. Back to center. Open up towards the left, and then resist that leg back to center. Right hip is heavy. And back. 5 more. Make sure your gaze is looking down your nose or right up at that towel, not back behind you. So you have a nice neutral spine. 2. 1 more. And lower your right leg, lower your left leg, and then lower your arms down. Go ahead and move the towel out of your way. We're not going to use it for a little while. Hands are down on the floor. Tuck that tailbone under, and this time you're going to keep tucking it under as you roll up into a nice bridge here. Shoulders are heavy on the floor. Press down through the feet and then feel them drag up towards your shoulders slightly. And then from here, soften through the sternum, tuck the tailbone under even more as you peel yourself all the way down. And release. And then again, shorten that distance between your hips and your ribs as you peel up, 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 up. And then soften on your exhale and lower all the way back down. We're going to come up one more time, then we're going to pause. Pausing here at whatever height is comfortable, and you can stay for a moment. Take a second to just check in with your hips. Are they square? Are they gently tucked under? Is your glutes engaged but not squeezing on for dear life? Moving down the legs. Are your thighs and knees right in line with those hip bones? And then down to your feet. Is your whole foot helping you? All 4 corners. Make sure that you're not rolled to the outside, which may cause your knees to splay, or that you're all the way have your weight on the inside of your feet. You're pronated where your knees start to be knocked. You're knock kneed in. Legs straight, feet firmly planted on the floor. From here, you're just going to let that right leg fall out to the side. So now you do want to stand on the outside of that right foot rather, and then roll back in. Feel your whole foot reconnect with the floor. And then again, open up with that right leg. Left hip does not change. Weight distribution, and your left foot also remains the same. And back up. 3 more. Breathe in here. 2. And last one. And then pause at the top, open out to the left. Again, really feel your whole foot reconnect with the floor. Return your weight to that even distribution across the foot as you come back in. 4 more. 3. Right leg is still reaching long. 2. And last one. Pause here. Tuck the tailbone under and roll yourself all the way down. And then bring your knees in towards your chest and gently rock back and forth from one side to the other. And then from here, roll over onto your right side. You're gonna have your head cradled in that hand or resting on your bicep. And then you're gonna reach your right arm straight out in front of you. And you're just gonna open your arm up towards the ceiling, slightly back behind you. Think about rolling off your bottom shoulder as you reach back. You need to bend your arm because you don't have space, that's fine. And then reach it back forward. And then again, lift it up, but then feel the rotation through your spine and your arm just sort of follows. And then back center. 2 more just like this. Arm up, slide off your shoulder like you're gonna put your whole shoulder blade and then your spine on the floor. And back forward. Last one. And then come back to the front. And then go ahead and drop your left hand on the floor. Right hand stays where it is. Your head is resting on your bicep still. And again, that external rotation, lifting up into a clamshell here, and then resist back down. And then again, open out and back in. Hips are nice and square, pointing forward. Tailbone is reaching long behind you, so that rib to hip space is the same as though you were standing or when you were laying on your back earlier. No shorter or longer. And back down. 4 more. 3. Almost think that your hips reach forward as you open. 2. Last one. Good. Lift that leg up. Extend it long. And then bend it in. And then extend your leg out in front of you, but like at a diagonal. And then sweep it back. And then bend your heel towards your butt. Get a nice quad stretch. And then hinge at the hip. Bring your knee forward and then extend the leg long at that diagonal, sweep it back. So we're doing bicycles here. Keeping your tailbone reaching long, the distance between your ribs and hips is not changing as you do this little bicycle, but find that quad stretch, find the nice flexion as you bring the knee in, and find that nice stretch to the back of the leg as you bring it forward, and then hip flexor into that quad stretch as you bring it back. 1 more time in this direction and we will reverse. So leave that heel by your foot, heel by your butt, extend that leg long behind you, sweep it forward, hinge at the hip, and then bend the knee in towards the butt, and then send the knee back behind you with the foot, extend, sweep. You can do this with a pointed foot, a flexed foot, a nothing foot, whatever feels better for you. We're gonna do 2 more in this direction. Last one. And then drop that leg on top of the other. And then from here, you're gonna press up into a side plank starting position. My brain broke. Right forearm is on the floor, palm on the ground, and then send your left leg long, and then send your right leg underneath you. And then from here, left arm, palm up, and then just press up and side bend up and over, lifting those hips straight up towards the ceiling, and then lower your hips all the way back down. And then again, press through the floor with the lower knee, the bottom arm, as you reach up and over, and then back down. 2 more just like this. reach up. Nice stretch as you feel those top ribs opening, separating away from one another. Last one. And up. And then from here, bring that arm up towards the ceiling. And then reach it down towards the floor. Get a little stretch here. And then lower your hips. And swing them around to the other side. So, again, knees are stacked. This time you are resting your head on your left hand / bicep. Whatever placing works better for you. Your head is just in line with your spine. Tailbone reaching away from you. Extend your right arm up and in line with your shoulder in front of you. From here, you're going to start to lift that arm up, but as the result of your spinal rotation, that arm will just follow. And if you want to add in that little chest stretch at the end, you can extend your arm more. And then again, bring it all the way back. 3 or 4 more, so slide off that right shoulder as you go back, putting your whole shoulder blade on the floor, trying to get your spine on the ground. And eventually, maybe if you're super mobile in your mid-back, that right shoulder. All the way forward. 3 more. Again, that arm just follows. And back. 2. And last one. Good, and then coming forward, drop that hand, head stays where it is, and then externally rotate through the right leg and back down. Hips are square, the rib to hip distance hasn't changed. Good, we're gonna do about 6 more. 5. Feet stay together. 4. 3. 2. And last one. And then lower that leg all the way down, knee rather, and then lift that whole leg up. Extend it long. Sweep the leg forward. Bend at the knee. Bring the heel towards the butt. Send the knee back behind you as you find that quad stretch and hip extension. Extend the leg back behind you. Again, the rib to hip connection doesn't change. Sweep the leg forward. You can even do like I'm doing and bring your hands there. Oh, that was a little too far behind me. Okay, now I know for next time. I don't want that distance to change. Going at whatever pace feels good for these bicycles. We're going to do one more in this direction. And then pause at the top, press down through that leg, sweep it back behind you, heel towards the butt. Make sure when you do that, you're not arching the back and popping the ribs open. Bring the knee into the chest. Here, make sure you're not rounding through the low back. Extend the leg. Sweep. Bend. Fold at the hip. And extend. And again, if you want to make it more fluid, just make sure you're not losing the stability through the torso. We're going to do 3 more. 2. Last one. And extend. And then lower that leg. Press up onto that left forearm. Right leg is long. Slide your left knee underneath you now. Right palm up towards the ceiling. Press through the right foot. Left forearm as you slide. Side bend up and over towards the left. And then lower the hips all the way down. Readjust as needed and press up And really reach, press out of that left forearm as well. Make sure it's sliding underneath you and not reaching away. For 3. We're going to come into all fours after this. 2. And last one. And then reach that palm down towards the floor, get a little stretch to the upper back, and then lower the hips all the way down. And come into your all fours. Grab some water if you'd like. We're gonna be here for, I don't know, a few minutes, so actually if you would like to take your towel to give you a little bit of extra padding underneath your knees, go for it. And then hands are right underneath your shoulders, knees right underneath your hips. Similar to what we were just doing with those bicycles, you're gonna send your right leg up, toe pointed towards the ceiling. You're gonna externally rotate your leg, drag your knee up toward your right shoulder, and then send it down. And then again, send it up towards the ceiling, externally rotate, keeping that height, and then keeping as much of that height as you can as you bring it in, and then drop it down. 3 more in this direction. Point, externally rotate, bring it in, and down. Clearly, getting a little bit of lubrication and movement through the hip joint is the name of the game today. Last one in this direction. Externally rotate, bring it forward and down. Good from here. You're going to do that little dog is peeing motion up. Internally rotate as you bring it to the top and then lower it down. 5 more, or 4 more rather. Out to the side. Internally rotate, toe up and down. 3. Down. 2. Making sure you're breathing. Last one. And then lower that knee down. And then bring it forward in front. And then slide it a little bit farther forward, especially if you have that towel under your knee. And then shift your hips and your hands forward so you get a nice stretch through your left hip flexor here. And then you're gonna reach your right arm up towards the ceiling, or you can bring it behind your head, your choice. And then tap that hand down towards the floor, square your chest with the ground, and then peel it open again. Really feel yourself rotating around that left shoulder, the little squeeze in between your thighs, even though they're not physically together. 2 more. And back down. Last one. And then lower all the way down. Shift your weight back. Peel your toes up off the floor and then peel them down. Peel them back up off the floor and then peel them down. And if you're nice and flexible, you'll have a much straighter front leg than I do, which is very bent, and that's fine. Just focusing on peeling those toes up towards your face, getting a nice flexion through the ankle, and then putting your whole foot back on the ground. 2 more. Spine is long though. You're looking for that length. Last one. Peel those toes up and back down. Shift your weight just forward enough to get that knee back underneath you. Hands come back down onto the ground. Switching to the other side. Left leg lifts up, foot towards the ceiling. Externally rotate. Slide that knee towards your upper arm, and then drop it down. Reach the foot up. Externally rotate, knee towards the upper arm, and then lower it down. 3 more. We're doing 5 total in each direction. Really pressing into that right hand to help keep your weight evenly distributed. Sorry, pressing into that left hand. Last one. And down. Opposite direction. So lift it out to the side, internally rotate to the top, and down. Lift it out to the side, internally rotate, toes to the ceiling, and down. 3, down, 2, and down. Last one. And then bring it through your legs, but again, a little bit forward of your hands so you can slide forward and find a nice lunge here. You can come up onto your fingertips. Really think about reaching that tailbone long so you're opening through the front of that right hip. And then from here, planting your right foot and just reaching open with the left arm, rotating the chest to the left, and then tapping your hand back down, squaring your chest. And then again, lifting up and twisting, and back down. 3 more. And down. 2. And last one, feel your shoulder blades slide down towards your spine as you rotate around that right shoulder, coming all the way down. And then again, shift your weight back, and then peel your toes up, and then plant them down. And then peel them up, and lower down. Almost like, trying to think of what a good visual for this would be. Gum? Maybe. 2 or 3 more, going at your own pace here, getting that nice stretch of the calf, the hamstring, and the bottom of the foot. A little flexion in the ankle and toes. Last one. And then lower all the way down. Slide that foot back. From here, I'm going to turn to face you. You are going to come onto your left knee with your right leg out to the side and your hands planted in all fours. So everything is all fours positioning except your right leg is now straight out to the side. Tuck the left toes under, find length through your spine. If your toes are pointed at a little bit of a diagonal, that's totally fine. They don't need to be all the way facing forward. Pick a spot that feels good. And then from here, you're just gonna let your chest drop, your shoulder blades slide towards one another, and then press away as you lift up through the spine. Arms stay straight, shoulder blades slide in, and then press up and slide them apart. Similar to what we did very first thing with the towel in our hands, lifting our fingertips up towards the ceiling. 1 more. And press up, find your nice neutral. From here, you're gonna slide your hips back towards your heel, get a stretch through the foot, and then come all the way forward. And then again, slide yourself back, stretch through that foot, a little through the inner thigh here, and come forward. And back. And forward. 3 more. And enjoying that nice inner thigh stretch, 2. Last one, pause when you're forward. From here, you're gonna reach your right arm up and open towards the ceiling, and then reach it underneath across to the left. And then press up, rotate open around that right or left shoulder, and then rotate through. And lift and open. And 2 more, rotating around and rotating open. Last one. And then come all the way down. From here, you are going to untuck your back toes if that gives you more stability. So whichever foot positioning is more comfortable for you. Put the weight evenly in between both hands. Take a nice big inhale, and on your exhale, flex the foot and lift the side of the foot up and hold for 5, 4, 3, 2, keeping your weight nice and parallel. Square. Last one. Lower it down. Take a nice big inhale. We're gonna do that 2 more times. Inhale. And then exhale, lift, flex the foot, lift through the bottom of the leg. Weight in that right hand to keep you nice and square. Slowly lower down. 1 more time. Inhale here. Exhale, press into both hands, lift through the edge of that right foot. And then lower it all the way down. And then sit back onto your heels for just a second, or the one heel. And then come forward, plant your right foot down, And then just sit back onto your heels. Take a nice little child's pose here for one moment. And then we're going to go to the other side. And then round your spine all the way back up. Make sure you have plenty of room beside you. Hands underneath those shoulders. Left leg comes out to the side. Toes curled under on the right foot. And slide yourself back, getting that nice stretch. And then almost propel yourself forward just a little bit. Find a little spring as you come forward, if that feels good. If not, move nice and slow. Head is nice and long, spine is long as well. 4 more. 2. Just notice differences between the two sides. Last one. Good, and then peel that left arm open, rotate around that bottom shoulder. And then from here, reach your left arm underneath, thread the needle with that left arm, and then press up and out of your right arm to twist and rotate open. And then rotate towards the right, really stretching through the back. Feel that shoulder blade separate slightly from the spine. On the left side. 2 more after this. Last one. Open, open, open. And then twist and rotate. And then come back to the center. And then untuck your toe. Or keep it tucked if that's a more stable position for you. Roll onto the inside edge of that left foot. Flex your foot. Take a nice big inhale, keeping yourself nice and stable and nice and square to the floor. You're going to float that leg up for 5, 4, 3, 2, last one, lower down. Notice if this side is like 40% harder, or maybe it's a bunch easier. Worth making note. Inhale here. Exhale. Reach that left foot up towards the ceiling for 4, 3, 2, last one, lower down. And as you pick up, make sure if your weight wants to shift all the way over to the right, and try to compensate through pressing into that left hand a little bit more. When you're ready, inhale, exhale, lift, and hold. 4, 3, 2, and last one, lower that leg all the way down. Bring your knees nice and wide and sit back into a child's pose. Walk your hands nice and far forward, and then just melt down towards the floor. Feel your hips melting down towards your heels and your chest towards the floor. One more breath here, and then we're going to come up. Press yourself up. Again, if you want a little padding for your knees, go for it. Come back to all fours, normal all fours one more time. And then from here, nice long spine, distance between those ribs and hips staying the same. Think about gently externally rotating through the arms, crown of your head reaching long away from you. Bend the elbows back towards your hips. Your torso goes down towards the floor and press up. We are doing push-ups, but we are doing, I would say ultra modified, but they're so hard. Feel the heel of your hand slide gently back towards your knees. Your elbows reach back behind you. Press through the whole hand as you lift. Really feel all the muscles around your shoulder and your armpit working to press you back up. We have 5 more. Check in on those hips. Neck is nice and long. 2. Last one. Good. And then from here, you're going to walk your hands slightly forward of your shoulders and then slide yourself forward into a nice kneeling plank here. And then from here, with your hips staying nice and square, gently tuck them under, find that length through the front of your torso, and you're going to send your left hand over to your right shoulder and your right hand over to your left shoulder. If you need, walk your knees in a little bit closer towards you and do this in a more modified positioning with those knees underneath your shoulders. Alternating right hand, opposite shoulder, then left hand. Your torso is not changing. Two more to each side. The last one to the right, and then lower down. And then again, if your knees are right underneath your hips and you'd like to modify slightly, come back into that more kneeling position. If you can, tuck your toes or hips under, find that more full plank position here. And then reach your hands slightly out in front of you, and then reach them right back underneath you. And then opposite hand starts out in front of you, and back underneath. And out in front of you. Alternating hands, back in. We're gonna do one more time. Leading with one hand, out, in, last one. In. Bring your knees all the way underneath you, everyone. And then fingers pointing forward, wrap those elbows in, find the heels of your hands dragging back towards your hips, and find those little push-ups, again, little, as big as you want to make them, for 8, 7, 6, 5, moving nice and slow and controlled. Really feel your shoulders and armpits supporting you here for 3, 2, and last one. Bring your knees nice and wide. Walk your hands forward as your hips come back. Press the heels of your hands away from you. Relax your torso. Let your arms externally rotate. And slowly peel yourself all the way up. Grab your towel. You can sit cross-legged or just on your feet like I'm doing. Reach your towel straight in front of you, and then feel your shoulder blades gently slide and your ribs drop in the front as you reach your arms up, so they may still be in your periphery. Keeping the weight into your left hip, side bend up and over towards the right. Reach and rotate with the left arm. Rotate back to the center, open towards the front. Come all the way up. One more time over to the right. Reach long evenly through both hands. Keep reaching as you twist and rotate your ribs towards the floor. Rotate open, still in that side bend. Come all the way up over to the left. Drop your ribs. Weight is heavy in your your right hip. Reaching through both hands evenly. Twist and rotate towards the floor. Open towards the front. Coming up. One more time. Shoulders are relaxed as you side bend up and over to the left. Reach. Keep reaching and rotate. Back to the front. Coming all the way up. And then just lower your arms down with control. Shoulder blades are flat on your back. And then just relax those arms as you drop your arms. Drop the towel. Let your hands come into your lap for a second. Sitting up nice and tall. Again, find that rib to hip connection. Drop your chin. Slide your chin along your collarbone over to the right. Then send your right ear towards your right shoulder. And then send your chin back towards your collarbone. Drag it down. Drag it over to the left shoulder. Rotate your left ear toward your left shoulder. Chin down towards your collarbone. Back to the center. Pause here and slowly stack your spine all the way back up. Take a nice big inhale. Soften your body. And you are all finished. Thanks.